Chapter 3: The conceptualization of business models. In this chapter, we'll introduce the traditional and widely applied framework of the business model canvas. We'll explain what building blocks are distinguished and how they relate to each other. The chapter is completed by reflecting on the shortcomings related to sustainability aspects of the business model canvas model. A widely used definition of what a business model is stems from the successful book Business Model Generation. There, a business model is described as the rationale of how an organization delivers and captures value. So what are some of the important characteristics of business models? Business models are models of a company and not of an entire sector or industry. This also means that companies might apply a number of different business models for different products or customer segments. Business models represent an abstract level and don't explain details of a company. Business models are also systems of interrelated components. If one component changes, others often have to change as well. For example, a new product or a new value proposition often might require also new key partners. Business models are very dynamic and change over time, as they are under constant pressure to change due to market pressures and others. Business models are often described with the concept of the business model canvas, which we'll use also within this course to describe them. In the canvas, a business model consists of 9 different interrelated building blocks. It is a helpful tool for many purposes, such as understanding the business better, differentiating the business against others, understanding current weaknesses, or analyzing the scalability of a business model, and so on. We'll now shortly describe the 9 elements that make up business models according to this framework. Right at the center of the canvas is the value proposition. It describes the bundle of products and services that create value for a specific segment of customers. In other words, the value proposition describes what the company offers. The upper right side of the business model canvas is concerned with the question of who are the customers and how they are addressed. The customer segments describe the different groups of people or institutions the company serves. The channels represent the means of communication with the customer segments, while the customer relationships characterize the types of relationship a company has with its customers. The upper left section of the canvas is concerned with how a business operates. The key activities summarize the most important things companies must do to make the business model work. The key resources list the most important assets that are required for the business model, and key partners are the ones who are the suppliers and partners who enable the business model. The lower section of the canvas describes the financial workings of the business model. The cost structure summarizes all costs necessary to operate, while the revenue streams represent the cash a company generates. This figure highlights how the individual elements of the canvas relate to each other. Changing individual variables of a business model results in effects on other elements. For example, focusing on different customer segments might require a change of the value proposition. The canvas can be divided into front and back-end elements. The front end summarizes the customer-facing part, containing the customer relationships, the segments, and the channels. These are together responsible for creating the revenues of a company. The back end, on the other hand, is responsible for making the front end happen by combining key activities with partners and resources. These elements also make up for the costs of a business model. The back and front end intersect within the value proposition, which results from both the potential of the inputs on the product side and the potential recipients of these on the market side. As you probably already noticed, The business model canvas framework has a strong emphasis on the profitability of business models, but many types of value, especially environmental and social value, already introduced in the first chapter, are out of scope in the canvas. The model doesn't integrate environmental and social sustainability in their impacts beyond profitability. The model also does not integrate other possibly negatively affected stakeholders than customers. Despite this critique, the wide application of the canvas proves its usefulness. Therefore, within this course, we still use it, but try to expand beyond the financial focus of the model and integrate social and environmental concerns wherever possible and necessary. This is the challenge that will be addressed in the next chapter.